My 911's air conditioning isn't blowing as cold as it normally does, so I'm going to see what the pressure is and see if I need to charge it up a little bit. Next to the battery is the ports for the AC, so I took off the plastic battery cover, and then I took off this little trim piece here that covers the cabin air cleaner and also the ports for the air conditioning. So on a manifold gauge set like this, each one, the high and the low, only fits one side. So the low fits the low side, the high fits the high side. They're different sizes, so you can't mix them up. The high side is the smaller tube, and that is going to the expansion valve, which is that little block-looking thing right there, and the evaporator is, of course, on the other side in the cabin. And so the coolant goes through a little hole in the expansion valve, and as it expands, it is going to suck the heat out of the air in the cabin, thus blowing colder air. And then the refrigerant returns on the low pressure side and goes back to the compressor in the engine compartment. So now that I have the manifold gauge set hooked up to the ports, both of these valves are off. These valves are to open up to the yellow hose in the middle. You can see the gauges here. So the low side gauge is right around 0, which is normal. This would be vacuum on this side, or I'm sorry, 0 on the R134A scale, which is normal return pressure. But you can see that in PSI in the middle, it's about 30 PSI, and in bar on the red scale, it's about 2 bar. And then on the high side scale, the red side, I don't know if this is in focus or not, but it's about 125 PSI, and the bar is about 9 bar of pressure on the high side. And I have the page from the service manual here, the workshop manual, and this top graph is the high pressure in bar. Today it's about 30 degrees C out, it's about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And so for 30 C, the pressure on the high side is supposed to be between about 15 and 22 bar. And then the low side pressure, regardless of temperature, is supposed to be 1.4 to 1.7 bar. And again, we said that was about 2 bar. That should be okay. So looking back at this gauge, I want it to be up about, up to about 20 bar here, which is going to be about 275 PSI of pressure. I've now screwed on a can of refrigerant onto the yellow hose here. Again, the yellow hose goes to the center of the manifold. And now what I need to do is I have to screw in this valve, which is going to puncture. It's got like a point on the end. It's going to puncture the metal seal. There we go. So now I've punctured the metal seal on the can, and I've opened that back up. Now, when I open up this gauge, it's going to allow the refrigerant to go from the yellow hose into this little sight glass, and then down through the blue hose to the low pressure. So as the system runs, it will suck in this extra refrigerant because the compressor is pulling. And you can see, when I open this up, that sight glass is starting to fill up, and I'm actually holding the can upside down and shaking it a little bit. And you can see stuff going into that sight glass. And the pressures are going to start climbing. So I'm going to stand here and shake this can for a little while. So it actually took about 2 cans of refrigerant, but now my high pressure is just around 20, just below 20 there, 20 bar. So I think that's good. My low pressure is still right around the 2 bar mark. So I'm happy. And I have to report, it's blowing cold. So that's a good thing. To mention, but maybe it's apparent that the car is running. The car needs to be running and the air conditioning needs to be set to max fan and max cold to do this. And now that I'm ready to disconnect these, I start by unscrewing the top knob, which is actually pressing the valve inside open, and then I can pull the ring on the outside and